Okay, so my name is James Clarke. I'm the brand manager for Gardner Tackle. Started off in sales. I've worked for a few other companies, but I started with Gardner in sales and eventually worked my way up to brand manager. We're today filming at Johnson's Lake, part of Godalming Angling Society, and the guys have got to say thank you if you're watching this, because they always, they always let us use this lake for filming. We've done filming with Charlie Bunt, Sam Bezic, and there's some great fishing here, so we're very lucky for the guys to let us use this lake. I'm out with Mr. Shenton today, so we're doing some autumnal products for filming, so like I say, they'll be combined into this video with sort of products that hit this time of season properly, you know. So hopefully, we're going to get a fish for the session. That'd be nice. The weather at the moment is absolutely cock on. There's a lovely wind blowing. We've seen a few fish showing. And but tomorrow, unfortunately, lots of rain comes in, so we've got to try and cram as much of this into one video as we can. But you never know, we might get one for the camera if we're lucky. For my fishing, really these days, is I just do overnight sessions. I'm lucky to do that, you know, I'm not complaining but by any ways, but I think that's probably where I'm more suited now, because I think I've got so used to that mould of just arriving at the lake and doing a night. It suits my fishing now. I feel out of my comfort zone sometimes when I do a 48-hour session. I've done 2 this year, and I don't feel like I fished to my potential, strangely. It's weird, but you know, I did do 148 this year and had a massive session up at my my new syndicate. But mainly now for me, it's the buzz about fishing overseas. I've fished in Sweden with a good friend of mine, Gary Benny. That was out of this world, you know, and to catch a 40 in Sweden and some 30s was unbelievable. But yeah, mainly now to fish abroad. I think when I go abroad, I can commit myself to that 1 week that I'm fishing. I know I haven't got to go home and do the horses, because my other big passion is horses. I love riding horses. And for me now, like I say, going abroad is a big one. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the build up to it. I enjoy being with my friends. And yeah, it works. And I'm off to Belgium actually in a couple of weeks with our Belgium team manager, Chris van der Noot. Really looking forward to that. We're going fishing for some big fish. I can't name the location. But yeah, so for me, mainly now, I really get my kick out of overnight sessions and most certainly fishing abroad. Yeah, for me, I always try and keep my rigs simple. You know, there's so many different rigs out there on the market, and I generally just tend to find I have one bottom bait rig, which is my ever faithful turbo German. Everyone knows how much I love that rig. I'm not saying I invented it by any means, don't get me wrong, but like for me, it just catches me fish. So, as you see today, I put 2 out already on wafters. And for a pop-up rig, hinge stiff in the spring, sometimes through the winter, because I do like single hook bait fishing. If you can get to the lake and you can find them, I do sometimes find that just putting one amongst them on a hinge stiff can often catch a fish, or a turbo German. So really, yeah, either that or the Ronny rig. You know, I know it's a fashion rig, but it does catch fish. So really, outside of those 3 rigs, there's not a lot of other styles of rigs that I use. I know they catch fish, and I know in the right situations they do catch. I'm always setting the traps for that morning bite. Sometimes in the evenings, if I'm lucky, you can just hit one pretty quick, but usually I'm setting me traps for that morning, but then frustratingly I have to be up by sort of 7:30 and gone by 8 in the morning. But hey, look, listen, that's fishing. I'm lucky to be able to get out, so I've got an understanding why. So obviously Garth at Blake's really looks after me. Look, it's confidence in the bag, you know. If you've got confidence in the bait, that's most of the battle won. I do love the Redfish Pro, and that can actually be quite, even though it's a fish meal style bait, it does actually carry through into the winter quite well. Then I tend to go on to the nut base mix that they do. Yeah, I'm not a heavy baiter. You know, I often think if you get in there and you're only doing a night, you don't want to put, I always try and think of it as this, you know, you've got one hook bait. If you get out there and you spar 'em and you see loads of people doing a camp pulling loads of bait, if you put 300 baits out, you've got 1 in 300 chance of picking that fish up, and one of them's a rig as well, and we always know that the carp's a little bit more cute around that hook bait than it is the others. So for me, I tend to sometimes use bags. You know, I think it's a bit of a forgotten method is the old PVA mesh bags. You know, it's a little mealer package sitting there, and that can often catch them out. Again, single hook baits, so I do love a single hook bait, but yeah, I tend to maybe put 10 to 20 baits and my bait just off of it. I always find that sometimes just picks off the odd bigger fish. But then sometimes, like I say, when I did do a 48 this year, up at my new syndicate, I used 10 kilo of bait. You just know sometimes when the time's right when to apply that bait, and I just instinctively I knew, call it luck, I don't know, but I just knew that was the time to put the bait out, and I actually ran out of bait in that session. I think the fish eventually moved off. I think really with fishing, you know, it's all about experience. You can't buy that nowadays, although, you know, when I'm 48 now, and, you know, no grey hair, by the way, but, you know, over them years when you're fishing, you tend to learn things. Nowadays, you know, when I first started, it was all new. Nowadays there's, and it's great, don't get me wrong, but, you know, some of these big companies put out fantastic videos teaching the youngers how to fish, and I think it's brilliant, you know, but you just can't buy the experience sometimes, just knowing where you feel they might be. So I think really, you know, just over the years, just keep applying and learning, and that's my key. So yeah, get to the lake, you see too many people just going, oh no, that swim's doing the business at the moment. And don't get me wrong, I suppose I could probably say I've been guilty of that before. You know that if a swim's doing bites, you will jump in it. But you see a lot of people just bombing for the same swim. And just take a little bit of time and have a little look around, you know, because sometimes it's not always that swim that's doing the bites. So yeah, I tend to keep my eyes open a little bit, and yeah, fish for where you see them. Don't just turn up and jump in a swim. Find them, then fish for them.